Next photo here. This is down in the gun cleaning room. Again, you can see the fencing's going up for the armory. So we're starting to get that, a little bit of wiring and some security items that we have to touch base with over there. Again, this is now looking out into the Sally Port. So the Sally Port has got the fencing in. A couple little tweaks. They did some work yesterday, and they have to come back and just to fine tune it and to make some adjustments. But we're getting ready to do that with the sliding doors. Also in that area, they're also just getting the rolling doors down and all the controls for the sectional doors. What you're looking at here is again still inside the Sally Port. That's a little storage area within the Sally Port. So we're just buttoning those items up. The next one, Larry, this is inside the garage. This is the two-bay garage as the screening was in there. That's some of the shelving. There were a couple areas in the detectives bureau that we needed to move some shelving around. So they've got some shelving ready to install out here, as well as what they owe in that area. But as you can see, we're kind of buttoning things up on the inside with the epoxy floor down and the wire mesh dividers going in. This is us looking outside. You can see the skylight above us. We're expecting that skylight next week. So the anticipation is next week we'll get the skylight piece and start putting that up. But the real focus is on the ceiling. So the ceiling panel system is going in. It's a pretty rigorous system because you want to eliminate updrift and there's hooks and clips and just the way the down bracing goes in so that the wind and the likes doesn't move and shift it. So they're out there doing that. They should be wrapping up the framing today and starting panels tomorrow is the anticipation. At that point, we can drop the lights in, drop the sprinkler heads in, and do everything again. This is part of the framing. Coming back, just another section looking to the north, as you can see that the ceiling is going in, and then you can also see the soffits out there as we get ready to receive the column enclosures that we've ordered. Just checking on those. They're a couple weeks out, so we'll just keep tracking those out and making sure we got those underway. This is down at the impound. This is a lower lot. So as you can see, we got the impound lot is the defense is up. So we're starting to button up some things down on the lower lot area. A little bit of grading going on. You can see some of the hay is going down. We're trying to get some topsoil went in, seeding went down, and we put some of the hay there to try to start stabilizing. There's a little bit of curb work we have to do down there, a couple adjustments down in that area where you've got some some challenges with the earth and how it meets the existing asphalt, but we're working on those adjustments as the good weather comes. And then this is the front of the building. As you can see, we're starting with the granite. So the granite has gone in. There's little pieces here and there as we adjust it. We got to come back and finish up the joints, clean the joints up to the left. We did poured the concrete sidewalk down there where the old transformer was. So we were able to get that in now and button that up. So we're going to do some after we strip it, we'll be able to do the infill and finish up the pavement in that area. But other than that, we're in pretty good shape. All the lights are in and operational and the likes.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of exterior painting still to do as well, and the
Yep.
staining of the brick, and just waiting for a little better weather.
Correct. So outside left remaining is, yes, like Ty said, is the painting of the plastic or the AZEK product. The paint on the back of the building, again, waiting for the good weather. Appreciate that. And then some miscellaneous fine tuning. We still have to do a little bit of caulking around where all the new fascias and soffits abut the brick. And then there's a little bit of cleaning up, a little bit of power wash that's going to happen. The downspouts, copper downspouts, just tying those in. We were waiting until we kind of got the place neatened up a little bit as we're starting to bring topsoil in and get ready for the plantings as we're chasing those out there with the design team. So that's it in a nutshell. Any specific questions or any inquiries or concerns?
Any questions out there?
Yeah, Scott, can you go back to that, or Larry, go back to that impound lot? Is that camera there gonna be obstructed by the fence? Are you trying to look
Right.
inside it?
Yeah, that's a question we had out there. There was an existing light pole that we put the light on. It was a dimension, a plus or minus dimension, an elevation to mount it on. So we mounted it as best we could there. That's one of the questions we have out there. Joe and I spoke about that a little bit, and
Okay.
Brian. So we're trying to figure out what the best approach is. We may need to employ some assistance from the police department team and give us some feedback. As you know, you have the slats are in there to prevent, to eliminate the visual attractive nuisance or people seeing what's back there, but it also hides if someone gets in there, how do they get and the like. So we are going to need some help on trying to understand that. There's a couple options to make it more functioning, if you will, as a camera, and what the intent of it is. So
Okay, yep, I'm glad you're on it. Thank you.
But there are other cameras on the building proper that would also provide a view of that, right?
that is true. That is true. So we're looking at it, and I'll probably walk through with Joe, Captain Ferenga there, and see if we can take a look at that, or Deputy Chief.
Hey, Scott, I have a question. Is the lower lot pavement, is it going to be relined or anything, or is that basically good as it goes now? In terms of the lines for the cars and,
Yeah, I gotta double check. I don't think it's yeah, we should be able to refresh those. If it calls for it or not, we'll take a look at that. But yeah, I don't think it should be any issue relining that. I'm not sure if it calls it out, to be honest with you, but I will definitely take a look and check
I
out
doubt
the
it's in the budget.
No, that's all right. Let me it does not call for the paving to be done now. I probably owe you some striping.
Get ready.
But it looks like
Yeah, there's probably some striping in there. Certainly we can take a look and refresh. I think we have also some crosswalk hash marks down near the stairs that need to go in. So certainly, yeah, it
Yeah.
looks like there is striping that goes in on the west side of that parking lot. The north side, I'm sorry, the east side looks like it's in good shape. So you can see that one stripe in the back there appears to align and create a good spot. But all the markings on the west side will need to be created. So yes, we do paint. Yes.
Thank you.
Tom, did you, the EMTs are also concerned about getting another walkway up the hill and things like that?
Not so much that, as just getting assigned parking spaces down there if we need it. I mean, just so, because they're limited on what they have behind them. They have 7 spaces behind the building, but they have a board meeting. They have 12, 15 people there. So if we could get lower lot spaces assigned to us, that would be helpful. Like 2 or 3. I don't know how many they wanted, but anyway, that's between so I don't know what we're going to do about that. That's between you guys and the EMTs, I guess, right?
Yeah, there are 21 spots down there on that lower lot. 21.
It would mostly be at night, and it's also when a second crew has to come in, things like that. They need some spots that they know they can get to if they can, and if they can be close to the stairs, that would help. And the stairs are in the middle of the lot, as I remember now.
Yeah, they're a little bit more towards the they're probably right in the corner of this yeah, there you go. That perfect.
There they are. Yep.
So we are going to get the line guys when they're coming out to do
Correct.
the main parking lot
Yep.
to come out and do the lower lot.
Yeah.
Yep. Restripe the spaces at 27 foot here and et cetera, et cetera. So all that nomenclature down there tells us what we got to do.
Okay.
Okay, transition into the numbers. Starting with the PCO log. Again, a lot of this is just moving from approximate to pending. We do have some new ones at the back. The first one, 110, I think it is, yeah. Again, yeah, that just went from pending to approved. The next, the remaining ones on the bottom of this page, we've already talked about the plaque, and then miscellaneous door and security work, the lettering above the door. Those are all, we talked about those before, those went from approximate to pending. Turning the page, here we have some new ones. Again, a little bit more door and security coordination. Closet doors and fire protection system coordination. Existing site conditions. This is in the impound lot. When we put the fencing up, there was some trees and dirt that was kind of interfering with the post alignment. So we cut those down and extended the pavement so that the pavement is the full size of the impound lot. We talked to Joe about that before we jumped into it. That's the 6,500. Traffic gate coordination. We had to add another bollard or post to accept the card reader when you're driving up. Replace EMS bollard. One of the EMS's bollards was knocked down. It wasn't from us, but so we're just going to straighten it up for them. It's right by their doors going into their garage bay.
On that, does the EMS have enough bollards now? I mean, since we're all there and we're doing bollards, is the EMS properly secured, or do they need another one?
I think they have enough. The bollards are basically guarding the garage. The bollards are basically the ones guarding the garage entrance from damaging the walls at the corners, right? I think that's right. And I think that they've had them there all along. I think I don't know how it got knocked askew, but.
Yeah, so the way they were built was just so what they did was they kind of cracked the top. They were all cast. So they cracked. It was a one-piece bollard. So the town happened to have another one. Joe dropped off another one. We dug the old one out, put the new one in. But yeah, I think they're there to protect the vehicles from hitting the walls as much as to protect the walls from being hit by the vehicle. So I believe what was there is still there. We just corrected the one that was.
Right. I think we're good, but I'll check. We're meeting Tuesday night. I'll ask them.
Okay.
143 is just a back charge between two of the subcontractors, some corrective work that had to be done. And the last one is door frame paint coordination. We had a certain color for the door frames, but then it was adjacent to the wood molding. So we would change it from a gray more to a brown so that it transitioned. Then on the other side of the door, it would go back to gray. So just some minor tweaks to get everything looking properly. Then we go into the holds. There were a couple of holds in there that, the dollars weren't shown because the work was being funded out of holds. Door and security coordination. And then the fire protection coordination between the IT closet and the fire protection system that we referred to in the previously. And then going from approved to pending on the next page, I think we've talked about, there's various fire protection coordination things that we talked about last time, and there's just went from approved, from approximate to pending. And then the relocation of the sprinkler control valve. That was one other sprinkler item that's being funded out of a different hold. And then we go to contingency. And again, this went from approximate to pending. We had other sprinkler things that we talked about at the last meeting. These are now some we funded out of holds. Then there are these that are being funded out of contingency. The last item here, we've been talking with Joe with the schedule extensions for the jacking the building and the transformer relocation. We had to extend the rental of the toilet trailer. So we discussed this with Joe, and you requested we fund that out of contingency. Hand in hand with that is the transformer relocation extended our schedule that month from February to March. And so we're going to also have a staff increase that we've been talking to Joe, and we're going to fund those out of holds. So that hasn't shown up yet, but it's in the works. Okay. And those are the numbers.
From an inspection perspective, building inspection perspective,
Yeah.
it's pretty cut. I mean, obviously things can go wrong, but no anticipated problems with that.
No, we've had all the town sign offs. Now we've got a little startup on the chairlift and a couple of other miscellaneous things where the elevator's been started up. We've been using that for furniture deliveries. All the MEP systems have been started up, and now we're in the commissioning mode, which is just sort of proving it out and fine tuning the set points. And so we're just really coming down the home stretch.
Yeah, and I'd like to thank Paul Payne. He took over for Brian for the inspections. Originally, Brian Plaths was taking care of all the inspections, and then Paul took it over, and it went seamlessly. And
I'd like to echo that, and I apologize. Yeah, listen, that the town inspecting agents have been extremely cooperative and have been very flexible with their timing. So again, I appreciate that from Turner's standpoint. It helps us be able to move forward as quickly as we can in areas without avoiding or without negating the need to have proper inspections. So the town helped us out greatly on that. So I want to say thank you for that.
That's great. That's great to hear, because I'll tell you we've certainly heard for many years that the town of New Canaan has probably the best building inspection department in the state. And I'm glad that even with the transition, we continue to live up to that reputation. So it's wonderful to hear.
No, yeah, thank you. And then just with regard to inspections, just to piggyback Tyza, we've had many walkthroughs with fire marshal. The big thing is just the C of O walkthrough. And they want to just wait till all the furniture is in and all the parts and pieces are established so that they can do their final walk for the C of O to just again confirm site alignment, site paths, egress paths, door swings, all those things, which again I know Brian took into account. We've been doing pretty good out here, but that'll be the last approach that they have with closing us out.
Scott, any remaining concerns that you have between now and move-in?
No, they're internal concerns, getting the trades out here and kicking them in the butt to finish up the punch list. Financially, making sure that we've appropriately come to the financial resolution with the trade contractors, making sure that they've met all their scope obligations, making sure that we've financially paid them what they're entitled to, at the same time recovered any costs of work that the town is entitled to have those monies come back. Larry and I are spending time sitting down with each sub during our closeout process. So no surprises. We're kind of, again, the last hit is going to be the paving, coordinating the paving with the EMT team to keep them active, kind of getting that last bit out of here. So I think we've done most of the challenges. The last little bit of digging we have to do is for the retaining wall for the guide rail between the retaining wall and the curb. But we dug that up and rebuilt that. So we're only digging where we've already dug. So pretty much, I think we've gone inside out, up and down, left and right, and no true surprises. There are those last minute things that the fire marshal may inquire. Hey, I think we need an exit sign here, or why don't we shift this a little bit or make something else happen? But other than that, I think we're in good shape and pushing towards the finish line with punch list, quality control, and final cleaning.
Great, thank you.
Just a question, before we have move-in back from the police, do we want to do any tours? Either for town body members or general public? I've just been asked by a couple of people.
Yeah, I think we would like to have a tour. I think we should have it after all the furniture is in. So we should just shoot for mid-May. so that if they see it and it's basically its final condition.
I'm glad you brought it up, Penny, because I didn't want to be the guy who like talks to the pitcher during his no hitter. You know, I don't want to be the jinxing guy that says, now we're going to start talking transition and tours and things like that. So the boogeyman's on you in case something goes wrong between now and then. But as far as planning from a building committee perspective, yes, now we much more public facing. We represent the people. They paid for this building. It's their building. So we want to make sure that we show it well for them and give them every opportunity to see what their tax dollars paid for.
So if we could schedule it now, let's just schedule it for right after this, if it's okay. Schedule right after this meeting, the first one that we have in May.
Okay, so our first meeting is May 8th. Right now we're scheduled for May 8th and May 22nd.
So we could do either one of those.
Any comments out there?
May 8th would be good. I mean, if it's for the building committee. I can't do May 22nd, but whatever.
Is it, I mean, it's a month from now. Is that enough time?
Yep.
Whoa.
I will accommodate Penny and give her a private tour at any time.
Yeah. I don't want to put pressure on for May 8th for you.
Yeah.
I like the pressure, Scott. He thrives on
He
it.
thrives. He does thrive on
He
it.
thrives on
He
it.
does thrive on it. I mean, so
That's-
Joe, do you think we can? So Joe, Scott, I mean, do you think we can go out on a limb and because once we, say it and by public, let's define from a police building perspective and security and things like that. What is a public tour?
So I'll go to the public, only the public spaces.
Yeah.
If we could have the committee there for obviously the entire building and any of the
Yeah.
people that are members of any commission or the boards. But as far as the public goes, I think you would limit it to basically the lobby and the couple.
You could do a walkthrough of the hallways and just to point out offices, and everybody loves to see the jail cells, as long as there's no occupants inside, obviously, before.
Perfect.
So, yeah, things like that are fun for everybody. You see the garage and the cars out back, the upstairs rooms, some of that stuff, just not some of the more private areas, but like the detective bureau and the dispatch center, we would keep people out of.
Okay, so
So the public hallways and the give a tour of the jail.
And do you want to require registration?
what do we require?
Bertie, do we want to say if you're going to come, you got to call and give your address or something?
Yeah, and we could probably
Yeah.
organize a list of people and just so we know who's coming.
How's
If
this?
we put it up to everybody, as Tom's point, we can have 100 people lined up, and that becomes a problem too. Is this sort of a limited public showing, or public showing?
But what we can do is if we get.
One,
too
why
many
don't we do
people-
it? Why don't we do it for town officials and various people we want to invite and make it like the first one an invitation only, and then you can open to the public later.
But with the
there's
RSVP, if you
anything-
have too many people, then you can break it up and say, okay, max is 25, let's say, and then the next tour is later.
And this is gonna be in the middle of paving and planting and other things, right?
Right.
Going on outside. Why don't we wait till the plantings are done and get that all in first? Because it'll be limited parking and limited ability to move around the building if all that other activity is going on outside.
That's certainly safer. And then we move it, let's say to the 22nd.
It'll
They
look
would have
nicer
taken it that
too.
day. And
Yeah.
he can't make it.
Add public tours on the day you do the ribbon.
It's a good idea. Yeah. And we
I
can,
don't know if you guys heard that, but Deanna said, why don't we just do the public tours on the day we do the ribbon cutting?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. Yeah, serve some coffee and donuts.
Paul's bringing the donuts.
I'll make the donuts.
Scott, you owe me one.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'll get one apiece.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
For the public tour, is it gonna
Scott, you can have two.
Oh, Larry, you'll be happy about that, Larry. Thanks.
be, for the
No
public
coffee,
tour,
though.
is it
No
just
coffee
gonna
for you.
be for, New Canaan residents? Or is it gonna be open for anybody from any town to come see the police station?
Yeah,
I would
would
think
just
you
say,
can.
So we should, then we need to have a registration, it's only for New Canaan residents.
Well, ribbon cuttings are public events, and I don't know if, if it was a New York City ribbon cutting for the new town hall and you wanted to see it from New Canaan, they won't stop you from going in to looking at it. Now, maybe taking a tour inside would be a different story, but I don't know how you can limit people to be, if we decide that it's going to be a ribbon cutting ceremony, then people can go in afterwards, how we can sort of determine that people, if you live in Darien and they're looking to inspire a new building, I feel envious that we can deny their access. I don't think that's possible. More bad
It's a
public.
public building.
Yeah.
Anybody can come into the
Right.
main spaces of a public building, so you
Right.
can't deny anybody
Right.
that wants to see the public spaces. And I would just say, arrange your tour around what you would allow the public to see.
Yeah.
Right.
And-
The rest of the boards have probably seen multiple.
Yeah.
I've been there a million times. I know other people have been there outside of when I visited. I think,
Yeah, it's been open every Wednesday,
Yep.
every Wednesday morning, and we've gotten, I think, basically everyone has walked through from the town bodies.
Yeah.
so.
Good. And as far as the date, May 8th is not the ribbon cutting. So we're basically throwing out the May 8th idea, right?
Right.
And we have to determine when the ribbon cutting date will actually be. Is that fair?
Sure.
And to show you the kind of leader I am, I'm bailing right now because my wife will tell me if I'm not home. And I'm popping it right on Paul Tully here, who's going to take over running this meeting. Paul, thank you very much. You can decide when we have the ribbon cutting. And
you're losing your voice
I'm losing my voice anyway.
Yeah.
You guys want me to leave? Leave.
Yeah, we don't have to determine it today either, as far as. I would suspect you have the ribbon cutting. Would you have the ribbon cutting when everyone's already up and active and in the building?
I mean, the real cutover is June, is it 2nd or 3rd?
Third.
June 3rd is the real rubber meets the road cutover. I don't think we want to mess around with public stuff when you guys are going to be running around
Correct.
work, making this stuff actually work. So you're busy then,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so we want to avoid those few days around the actual cutover day.
Yeah, it might actually be easier if we did the ribbon cutting before we moved in.
Yeah.
That way it's not interrupting operations. If there's a couple days hold over through most of the construction's done and the legwork's done there before we actually move our operation over. Because it's going to take some adjustment for our officers and EMS and everybody to get used to the space they're in. So we don't want to really interrupt that either. So if we could do the ribbon cutting before that, that might be helpful too. Just a thought.
I like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's about you guys. I mean,
Sure.
so the ribbon cutting then would be the last week of May. Or the 22nd, if we were going to stick with the Thursday theme.
Wouldn't the 22nd work? Like, that's a good day to have a tour and then a ribbon cutting afterwards?
Mhm.
Sure.
Someone's gotta do it.
I think so.
All right, let's pencil that in. Done? Okay.
All right. And if anyone has an idea why it shouldn't be, let's talk in the next week or so to pull that date. But yeah, I like that. Mr. Tully, the meeting is yours.
All right, next, I don't,
Yeah, so there's not really,
is there,
any other items, but, I know Gene will give a quick update on contingency, right? And then I had one item for, Summer Rain is the irrigation vendor. We can absorb the costs under the soft cost, so it won't affect contingency, but it's technically a construction cost, so it's $21,665. So I just wanted to make the committee aware of that, and if there's anyone Again, because it's funded from the soft cost side, we don't typically have votes, but if anyone has any questions, comments, or concerns, I'll bring it forward to the Board of Selectmen next week.
No.
Oh, Joe, I'm sorry, just a construction side question. I don't have the contact for those guys or who in specific, but they said they were going to come out this week to try to get some of their underground pipes in before we put plantings in. So maybe if you can give them a buzz or have them call me. He stopped by last week. I just hadn't heard any follow-up.
He's not under contract yet. So
Okay.
So
All right. It was a great idea to come out and dig the earth up and get all the sleeves and all the pipes in the sleeves so that when the trees are there, he's not working around plantings. He can work kind of freely. So just you can let me.
Yep. And that's it. So then if we wanted to, Gene, if you wanted to give a quick update on the overall project contingency.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So, good news overall. The contingency trended up from our last meeting by about $60,000. And this includes all the projected expenses and PCOs that are pending still in Turner's report that he just shared. So we're looking pretty good. Joe and I spent about 3 or 4 hours a couple of weeks ago going through all the latest purchase orders, committed costs on the soft cost side. So we're thinking that we're seeing a positive effect of some of the conservative budgets that we carried in these numbers. So I think this all looks pretty good.
Yeah, and just I'd also, we did a lot of in-house stuff. So I'd like to thank the IT department. The IT department has basically put in all the switches and has set up the overall IT room to be able to hand it over to the PD IT. And we've been working both with the police IT and the town IT, and they've been working very hard on this. It's been very helpful to keep the cost down. We've been buying everything basically off a state contract and installing it ourselves. So that's something that I'm sure a lot of towns cannot do. So I'd like to thank them.
Yeah, and I think that's reflective in some of the contingency numbers actually increasing at the tail end of the project as all the invoices come through and we start to account for the actual costs on there. So all good. And just a Reader's Digest version of the report. We're at 94% complete for Turner. Almost 20 million of the 21 million. So you can see they're on the definitely on the downward slope here. It just takes a little while to kind of get all the billings and contingencies and all that paid. So I'm sure there'll be at least 2 more requisitions, Turner, if not more. That tends to trickle, the invoices tend to trickle in, and it's really more of a problem just getting the subs to provide all their final paperwork so that we can pay them in a timely manner. So this will probably be at least 2 or 3 more months worth of kind of smaller invoices as we go through. We will have one more big one in May as we get to paving and landscaping in. So that'll be the next big increase. That's all I have to share.
So I had one question, which is where are we on the software for the 3rd floor, video/virtual training room? What are we doing with that before the project's done?
So the police department came up with a solution. It's basically virtual headsets, and we purchased them last week. They were only $7,000 and change, so they didn't have to go in front of everyone, and it was a soft cost item. But that was the solution. So the large virtual training number became a $7,000 item, which also helped to boost up the contingency. As you saw, we transferred some over.
Okay, great.
There'll also be
Good solution.
another, sorry, there'll also be another one you're reusing, the screen. There's a screen that you shoot
We
into
have
as
a
well.
dry fire technology that we use now that's also low cost, that'll fit perfectly into the space.
Yeah. So there's another item that we'll be purchasing out of there, but we're way under budget.
Okay, terrific.
Okay, that's all the new business you have, Joe?
Correct. Yes, thank you.
Anybody else have any new business?
Nope.
I guess so. Confirm the next meeting is for May 8th. Right, and then, tentatively the walkthrough on the 22nd.
Correct.
Other than that,
Motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Thank you.
All, second, Michael? Thank you.